If you're listening right now, you might be looking for peace. Maybe it's been a long day. Maybe your mind has been racing or your heart feels heavy. But right now, it's time to rest. This hour is for you, to calm your thoughts, ease your soul, and bring you closer to God. These Bible verses and stories are reminders that He is always near. Let go of everything, just breathe, and listen. This is Nisi Apparel. The Lord is our banner. Psalm 4:8. In peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. Isaiah 26:3. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. Matthew 11:28. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Psalm 23:1 and 2. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. Philippians 4:6 and 7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. John 14:27. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. Psalm 91:1 and 2. Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Isaiah 40:29. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Psalm 34:18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Romans 15:13. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in Him. Proverbs 3:24. When you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet. 1 Peter 5:7. Cast all your anxiety on Him, because He cares for you. 2 Thessalonians 3:16. Now may the Lord of peace Himself give you peace at all times and in every way. Psalm 121:3 and 4. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, He who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. One evening, Jesus and His disciples boarded a boat to cross the sea. As they traveled, a furious storm came up. Waves crashed into the boat, and the disciples panicked, afraid they were going to drown. But Jesus was asleep. In fear, they woke Him. Jesus calms the storm. Mark 4, verses 35 through 41. One evening, Jesus and His disciples boarded a boat to cross the sea. As they traveled, a furious storm came up. Waves crashed into the boat, and the disciples panicked, afraid they were going to drown. But Jesus was asleep. In fear, they woke Him. Teacher, don't you care if we drown? Jesus stood, looked at the storm, and said, Peace, be still. The wind died down, and everything was calm. He turned to His disciples and said, Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith? And they were amazed. Even the wind and waves obey Him. Reflection. Even in your darkest storms, He is with you. He speaks peace over the chaos. Story 2. The Prodigal Son. Luke 15, verses 11 through 32. A man had 2 sons. One day the younger son asked for his inheritance early. He left home and wasted it all in reckless living. Broke and starving, he returned home, ashamed and broken. But his father saw him from far away and ran to him. He embraced him, put a robe on him, and threw a feast. My son was lost and now is found. Reflection. God welcomes us with open arms, no matter how far we've gone. Story 3. Elijah and the Whisper. 1 Kings 19, verses 9 through 13. Elijah, afraid and discouraged, went to hide in a cave. He felt alone, but God told him to stand on the mountain. A mighty wind tore through the mountains, but God wasn't in the wind. Then an earthquake, but God wasn't there. Then a fire, but still no God. Finally, a gentle whisper, and in the whisper, God spoke. Reflection. God doesn't always speak loudly. Sometimes He's in the stillness. Be still and listen. Story 4. Daniel in the lion's den. Daniel 6. Daniel was thrown into a den of lions because he refused to stop praying, but God shut the mouths of the lions. In the morning, the king ran to the den, and Daniel was unharmed. Reflection. When you trust God, He protects you, even in the most dangerous places. Story 5. David and Goliath. 1 Samuel 17. David, a young shepherd boy, stood before a giant. Goliath mocked him, but David didn't flinch. He said, "You come to me with sword and spear, but I come to you in the name of the Lord." With one stone he struck Goliath down. Reflection. No matter how big the battle, God fought.
Take a deep breath. Let go of the day. These prayers and verses are here to guide your heart into a restful place, covered by God's peace. Prayer 1. God, I give you everything tonight. My fears, my stress, my thoughts. I lay it all down. Help me sleep in your peace. Prayer 2. Lord, thank you for walking with me today. Thank you for being near even when I forget. Let your presence wrap around me tonight. Prayer 3. Father, protect me in the stillness. Guard my mind. Renew my strength. I trust you. Prayer 4. Jesus, thank you for your grace. Let me rest in the promise that I am loved, forgiven, and never alone. Prayer 5. Holy Spirit, calm my spirit. Speak peace into my soul. Even in silence, I know you are near. Now, receive these verses slowly. Psalm 23, verses 1 through 4. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 24. When you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet. Isaiah, chapter 41, verse 10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. Psalm 91, verse 11. For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. Romans, chapter 8, verses 38 to 39. For I am convinced that neither death nor life, nor anything else in all creation, will be able to separate us from the love of God. Psalm 121, verses 5 through 8. The Lord watches over you. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. Lamentations, chapter 3, verses 22 to 23. Because of the Lord's great love we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 5. Never will I leave you, never will I forsake you. Joshua chapter 1, verse 9. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Revelation chapter 21, verse 4. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death.
In the silence of suffering, in the middle of nowhere, in the life of a woman long forgotten by people, God shows up. This is not the story of a queen, not a warrior, not a prophet. This is the story of Hagar, the woman who was cast out, abandoned, betrayed, and yet seen by God. She was Egyptian, a servant, a possession. Her name, Hagar. She worked in the tents of Abraham and Sarah, foreigners in a land not their own. Sarah had grown old, childless. She was tired of waiting on God's promise, so she took matters into her own hands. She gave Hagar to Abraham as a surrogate, and Hagar, a servant, was forced into motherhood. She conceived, and for a moment she felt something no one had ever given her: pride, value, a future. But it didn't last. Sarah grew jealous, bitter, and Hagar, just a young girl carrying a child, was driven out into the desert, alone, pregnant, afraid. She wandered beneath the blazing sun, her strength fading. Then she collapsed. But the story doesn't end in the sand. As she lay there, weeping, an angel of the Lord appeared. Not to Abraham, not to Sarah, to Hagar, a servant, a foreigner, a nobody. He said, "Hagar, servant of Sarah, where have you come from, and where are you going?" She sobbed, "I'm running away from my mistress." And then the angel said something strange. "Go back. Submit to her." But then came the promise. "I will increase your descendants so much that they will be too numerous to count. You are now pregnant, and you will give birth to a son. You shall name him Ishmael. God hears, for the Lord has heard your cry." And in that moment, Hagar gave God a name. She said, "You are El Roy, the God who sees me." No one else had ever seen her, but he did. Ishmael was born. But the pain wasn't over. Years passed. Sarah had her own child, Isaac. And once again, jealousy flared. Abraham, the man Hagar had served, who had fathered her child, sent her away. This time, forever. There are love stories. And then there is this one. Not the kind you find in poems or fairy tales, but one scarred by betrayal, pain, and redemption. This is the story of a man named Hosea and a woman named Gomer. But really, it's about you. It's about us. And a God who refuses to stop loving people who constantly run from him. The word of the Lord came to Hosea, but it wasn't a message to preach. It was a command that pierced like a sword. Go, marry a promiscuous woman, love her, as I love an unfaithful nation. And Hosea obeyed. He married Gomer. She was beautiful, but her heart was wild. Still, he loved her. They had children together, a house, a home. But cracks began to show. Gomer would disappear for days, return with perfume not her own, eyes that wouldn't meet his. Hosea knew. She had gone back to her old life. How do you love someone who keeps leaving you? How do you chase someone who's chosen chains over freedom, others over you? Gomer wasn't just unfaithful, she was gone. She left Hosea, her children, her home, and gave herself to other men. She sold her body, sold her worth, sold her soul. She was broken, used, abandoned. Eventually, she was no longer a lover, just property, a slave. Then God spoke again. Go, find her, buy her back, love her again, as I have loved my people. So Hosea went. He searched the alleys, the brothels, the slave markets, and there she was, chained, dirty, empty. He looked at her, not with disgust, but with love. How much, he asked. 15 shekels of silver, a homer and a half of barley. He paid it, every coin, every grain. He bought what was already his, and he spoke gently to her. You are mine. You will live with me. You will no longer run. You will no longer be used. You will be loved every day as my wife. This is not just a story of a man and a woman. This is the heart of God. He calls himself the husband. And we are Gomer. We've run. We've chosen sin. We've sold ourselves to worthless things, and yet he chases. He finds us in our shame, our dirt, our chains, and he pays the price, not with silver, not with barley, but with blood, the cross. Was God buying us back, not because we were clean, but because we were his? Hosea loved Gomer when she was at her worst.
There was a boy named David, young, forgotten, underestimated. But when a giant threatened his people, he didn't wait for a warrior. He became one, with no sword, no armor, just a sling, 5 stones, and unshakable faith. He brought Goliath to his knees. Everyone else saw a problem too big to fight. David saw a God too big to lose. There was a woman sick for 12 years. Doctors gave up on her. Society pushed her aside. But she believed just touching the edge of Jesus' robe would heal her. And it did. Not because of magic, because of faith. Jesus didn't just heal her body, he restored her identity. Daughter, he said. Daughter. Faith made her whole. Then there was a storm. Waves crashing, winds howling. The disciples, grown men, some fishermen, feared for their lives. But Jesus slept, not because he didn't care, but because he was in control. When they woke him, he didn't panic. He stood up and said 3 words, "Peace, be still." And the storm obeyed. Sometimes the storm outside is nothing compared to the storm inside.
And sometimes peace isn't the absence of chaos, it's the presence of Jesus in the middle of it. A man had 2 sons. One demanded his inheritance early, left home, and wasted everything. When he hit rock bottom, eating with pigs, broke and broken, he remembered his father's house. He thought he'd return as a servant. But the moment his father saw him from far off, he ran to him. No lectures, just love. That's the heart of God. No matter how far you've wandered, he's waiting to run toward you. 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, refused to bow to a king's idol. They chose the fire over compromise. And when they were thrown into the furnace, the fire didn't consume them, because there was a fourth. Jesus stood with them in the flames. The same God who delivers from the fire also walks with you in it. You might feel the heat, but you won't be burned. And Peter, impulsive, passionate, real, saw Jesus walking on the water and asked to come. With eyes on Jesus, he walked above the waves. But the moment he looked down, fear took over. He began to sink. Jesus didn't let him drown. He reached out, lifted him up, and asked, "Why did you doubt?" Even when your faith fails, grace doesn't.